Hi everyone, my name is Erin. I am a PhD student at the University of Buffalo, and my research is actually quite different from what most of you are doing. I actually study gorilla communication. So I'm sure if you guys have gone to the zoo and you've passed the gorilla enclosure, you've probably either thought to yourself or heard somebody near you exclaim, "Wow, they look so much like humans," or "Their behavior is so human-like." Well, these similarities actually apply also to their communication. So as humans, we have very complex communication with a really intricate verbal system. But especially if you look at our nonverbal communication, like our gesturing, you see a lot of similarities with our great ape cousins. So gorillas and chimpanzees, you see a lot of similarities. And so if we want to learn some more about how we arrived at such a complex communication system, we can study that of the great apes and learn a lot about the origins of our communication systems. So one example of a similarity in humans as well as great apes would be to compare our facial expressions. So one really profound expression that is very similar is the laughter that you see in humans is very, very similar in form and function to the play face that you see in all primate species, but especially the great apes such as gorillas and chimpanzees. It is just kind of relaxed face with the mouth hanging open. You can kind of see the bottom teeth at least. So something kind of like that. And so but it looks a lot more like human laughter. And so you see this in a playful context, and in gorillas and chimpanzees, you sometimes actually also get sort of a like panting vocalization that's very similar to human laughter. So this is an example specifically of a play signal. And play signals are really important because a lot of behaviors that you see in play could include things like biting and slapping, and those could be misconstrued as aggression if they are not preceded by some kind of signal that says, "This is playful, I don't mean to hurt you, I just want to play with you." So you see play signals across mammals. Play is very, very prevalent in mammal species, and so they all kind of need at least one or two play signals in order to communicate that playful intention. So in a dog, for example, you've probably seen them in their sort of play bow position, where their front end is very close to the ground and their butt's up in the air with their tail wagging, and they also have a play face expression where their mouth is hanging open. And that is an example of a play signal. That means that they want to play with you or with another dog. So this is very common, but most animal species just have just a couple, like one or two, in order to convey, because they just need to say, I want to play with you, or, an invitation to play. But with primate species, especially great apes, you actually see a lot more signaling happening in the context of play. And so this is often an understudied area of gestural communication within the ape species, because there's so many other gestures that are being used in other situations that they kind of discard play. But I wanted to figure out exactly how many signals gorillas are using for this purpose. And so far I have found at least 25 signals that have really strong support for being play signals specifically, meaning that they are only used in play and they are different from play behaviors themselves. And so by finding this many, I also wanted to figure out what exactly these signals might mean, because it's really unlikely that they all simply mean, "I want to play with you," to convey that playful intent. So I wanted to see if there was maybe something a little bit more specific being communicated, such as maybe I want to play a specific game with you, like I want to play chase versus wrestling, versus maybe I want to play keep away with this ball that I'm carrying around. So if it is that they are communicating something a lot more specific and possibly about specifically the type of play that they want, then this could be an example of referential communication in an animal species. And that is something that has been really difficult to find. So referential communication means that they are communicating about an object or an event outside of themselves. So if we were going to be talking about a concert that we were going to, that would be something that we are referring to that's outside of ourselves, an event. And so that's a pretty complicated level of communication. And it's been difficult to find in animals, But this could be one really solid example of that if I'm able to find something more specific within this suite of play signals if they're communicating something other than just a playful intention. So I'm looking forward to seeing the results of that and the rest of this course. So thank you for listening.